So the second meaning of Sankhya would be to get into a situation of conflict or to oppose, to get into a war-like situation. That is also Sankhya. You might have seen in various shlokas, Arjuna says Sankhye, Sankhye, Sankhye. That is not Sankhya, that is Sankhya, which means war. Okay. So this chapter is Sankhya, which means knowledge and logic. Okay, write it down, Gautam. Whenever there is a term, just write it down. Okay. So now let us see why we are getting into here. Last chapter we saw Arjuna was very, very sad. He was not so happy because he didn't wanted to kill his relatives and he wanted to get away from the war. He said, no, I don't want to kill any of my relatives. I want to get away from the war and I'm not going to do this. I can see my Dadaji, my grandfather. I can see my Guru, Dronacharya. I can see all my friends, cousins and everybody that I played with. Now I don't want to kill. So he wanted to run away. And he was just dropping all the weapons one after the other. And finally he sat down in the chariot. That was the last scene of chapter 1, right? Isn't it? We remember all that. And we called that as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna in pain, Arjuna in sorrow, Arjuna in sadness. And we also called as yoga. Why did we call yoga? Because we all go through similar experiences in life and we can connect. Arey, yes. I was also feeling like that 2 days before. I was feeling like that 2 days before because you know what? I was also sad. I didn't wanted to do anything. I wanted to run away. I was sad. So I was Arjuna. Yes, I can connect. When we say I can connect, this happened with me also. You are in yoga. You are merging. You are unifying with the problem at hand. Now let us go to the second chapter. Now the second chapter is having 72 shlokas. How many shlokas? 72 shlokas. Out of these 72 shlokas, there is a categorization. This chapter 2 is the most widely chanted chapter by kids. Kids chant chapter 2 a lot. So if you can memorize the shlokas from this chapter, it's awesome. Try that. Chapter 2, shloka 1 to shloka 10. It is the communication between Arjuna and Krishna, where Arjuna continues with his thought. There is a discussion between Arjuna and Krishna during 1 to 10. And there is something called a very important step, very important step in those 10 shlokas. This is the time where Arjuna surrenders. Arjuna says, I don't have anything else. I am supportless. I cannot do anything. I surrender to you, Bhagwan. You are my Guru. You are my Lord. I surrender to you. That's the thing that happens in 1 to 10. From 11 to 60. From 11 to 60, Bhagwan talks about something called as Karma Yoga. How to perform an action. I do my homework after coming from school. How should I do? I prepare for the examination. This is examination time for many of you. How do I prepare for the examination? I take care of my family. How should I take care of my family? Right? Any activity, any action that you are doing, how you should do. He spent 11 to 60 only talking about how an activity should be performed, which is also called as Karma Yoga. Then comes 61 to 70, where Bhagwan talks about love, devotion, how one should be completely lost in Paramatma, in Bhagwan Shri Krishna, while doing anything. Even before going to sleep, getting up from sleep, eating, dancing, chanting, talking, playing, how you can just think of Krishna. This is called as bhakti. Like action is karma, thinking in a devotion thinking with lot of devotion about one Supreme Lord all the time is called as bhakti. So from 61 to 70, Bhagavan Sri Krishna talks about bhakti yoga. And finally, he summarizes with the Phalashruti, which is what you get when you are in bhakti, right? When you do all these things, when you get the knowledge that you want, surrender to Lord, when you do your activities in a proper way, and also always concentrate on one Supreme Lord. Don't get distracted. Just see whatever you do, whatever you see, whoever comes to you, even your enemy, how can you see Supreme Lord in them? That is up to 70. And finally, the Phalashruti, which means Phalashruti means the result, the beautiful result. The beautiful result of doing all these things in sequence. Or not so sequence, but doing all these things together every day, every moment. What do we attain? So if you see, it is a summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Second chapter is called as a table of contents. You know, have you seen the books? In books, when you buy a new book, you will see in the beginning there will be a table of content. So if you want to know, I want to learn fractions. Where are fractions in this maths book? Or you just have to go to the first page, which is called table of contents. You see fractions. Yeah, fractions, page number 35. And then you directly go to page number 35 and you get to fractions, right? Similarly, for the entire Bhagavad Gita, whatever Bhagavad Gita wants to tell you about, it is just condensed into a nectar, Amrit, and has been injected into this chapter called as chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga. So when you're reading chapter 2, you're pretty much inclined to know what is going to come up next. So chapter 2 is very important, and that's why I said there will be a lot of new words. You may have heard what is bhakti, but you don't know that bhakti is all about getting lost into one Supreme Lord with devotion and love. That is what we need to know from now onwards. When somebody says he is a bhakta, show respect. Why? Because he has lost everything into one Supreme Lord. All right. So with that, we will get into the chapter. I need a volunteer to chant after me for the first shloka. And here, the camera starts from Sanjaya. So Sanjaya is the Mantri, right? He was the assistant to Dhritarashtra who was explaining everything that's happening in the war. So Sanjaya finishes chapter 1 and he continues telling the exact situation of Arjuna. What is Arjuna now? How is he feeling now? So we'll be starting with that. And let me see who is willing.
Gita Dhyana.
Oh yes, ma. Thank you. Let's do Gita Dhyana. And we have Pranavi. So we will have Pranavi do that. But Pranavi, will you be able to do Gita Dhyanam as well?
Uncle, 1 second. Let me connect my audio properly.
Okay, Tali. Thanks, Amma. Good to you, I was getting carried away with chapter 2.
Uncle, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, very clearly.
Okay, Uncle. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasenam Grahitam Purana Muninam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadasādhyayinīm Amba Tvāmanusandadāmi भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवैत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दन पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोण तथा जयद्रथचला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवते कृपेण वहने कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोदीर्णां खलु पाण्डवैरननदी कैवर्तका केशवा पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलम् गीतार्तगण्डोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेशरं हरिकदा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनसत्पथैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूया भारतपङ्कजं कलिमला प्रध्वंसिना श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपराक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्ताय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ
Now let's start. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha.
ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः।
अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः।
अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः।
संजय उवाच
संजय उवाच
तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम्
तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम्
तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम्
तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम्
अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम्
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 विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम्
विषीदन्तमिमं वाक्यम्
विषीदन्तम् इदं वाक्यम्
विषीदन्तम् इदं वाक्यम्
उवाच मधुसूदनः
उवाच मधुसूदन
Let us do the full lines. Sanjaya uvacha
सञ्जय उवाच
tam tatha कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम्
तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम्
विषीदन्तम् इदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः
विषीदन्तम् इदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः.
So, thank you, Dalli. Sanjaya says the ground reality of how Arjuna is currently, what is his current state, and this he is explaining to Dhritarashtra. One of the important things is like, again, Sanjaya starts chapter 2. Chapter 1 also Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. Right? Here again, Tam Tatha Krupaya Vishtam. Krupa, Avishta, Ashru, Kulekshanam, Vishidaha, Vakyam, Madhusudana. So, he is calling, Sanjaya is saying that Madhusudanaha has finally started speaking. Uvacha Madhusudanaha. Madhusudana has started speaking now. See, he waited for the whole chapter. Now comes the time where Bhagwan starts speaking up. Why? Let's see why. But first understand the Arjuna state. Arjuna, as per Sanjaya, is Kripaya Avishtam, with lot of pity. He is feeling the sense of pittiness. Why he is pitying? Pitying about the situation he is in, pitying about the condition he is in, and looking at all the relatives and friends, he is feeling empathy towards them. How can I kill? These are so beautiful people that I have lived with so long, right? With that pity, Avishtam, completely overwhelmed with this sense of pittiness. Ashru means tears. Tears in his eyes. Ashrupurna Kulekshanam. Akshu means eyes. Akula means distress. Ashrupurna Akula Akshu, which means the eyes filled with tears and in complete distress. With that kind of a mental attitude, with that kind of a mental situation, with tears in his eyes, he is sitting sad, his heart loaded with pity and empathy for everyone. He is sitting there. Vishidantam, in lot of sadness, Bhagwan sees Arjuna. And then he starts speaking. This is exactly what we said. If you ask something, Mummy, I want this, Mummy, I want, can I have it, can I have it? Mummy says, no. But okay, don't take this shloka as your secret mantra, okay? But when you start crying, when you have your tears in your eyes, it is very hard for Mummy to say no. Why? Karuna. And this is why Bhagwan's another name is also Karunamai. Right? He is full of empathy. He will give you chance to correct yourself. But the indicator that you don't want to correct yourself is tears in your eyes. When you have tears in your eyes, it means you are at the lowest point of yourself where you don't know how to come out of that situation at all. Okay, that's when he comes for help. But those who do not get to that situation, he knows that the person is able to help themselves. I still believe you, I still trust you, you will come out of this. This is what his message is to us. We should not feel that, Bhagwan comes only when there is pain. And a lot of people, a lot of us, we all go through temples and we all visit shrines only when we are in trouble. But Bhagwan always keeps a watch on us. Whether we are doing good or whether doing bad, he will always keep a watch. He will not come to help unless there are tears in the eyes. Just like how mother doesn't come to cater to your demands until she sees tears in your eyes. Now don't start crying for everything after this. There are easy, logics like these, in human psychology. This is all psychology. So this is all human psychology. Now, Madhusudanaha started speaking after looking at the condition of Arjuna with tears in his eyes, which means he is completely lost. When you see tears in his eyes, it also indicates one more thing, that you don't have control on your emotions. There is a level beyond which, if the emotion outbursts, tears will automatically flow. This is how the body cycle works. It is completely attached to the emotions, not just the sad part, but sometimes even in excitement. If you are not able to control your excitement, the only way to indicate that is through tears in your eyes. Even in that case, Bhagwan will come and do this and say, hey, stop, don't be overexcited. The next moment you will see you are into mess, you're into something big trouble. This is like balancing it out. Okay, so here comes Bhagwan's beautiful words after waiting for such a long time. You remember what he spoke last time? He said, hey Arjuna, you wanted me to bring your chariot. I am here. Look at all your relatives. That was the last thing, right? Now, here comes the next one. Okay? All right. So, let's see if someone else wants to chant the second shloka. Maybe Mayuka?
Yes, uncle.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Kutastva kashmalam idam.
Kutastva kashmalam idam.
Vishame samupasthitam.
Vishame samupasthitam.
Kutastva kashmalam idam.
Kutastva kashmalam idam.
Vishame samupasthitam.
Vishame samupasthitam.
Anaryajustam asvargyam.
Anaryajvashtam asvargyam.
Anarya ajustam asvargyam. Anaryajustam asvargyam.
Anaryajushta asvargyam.
Okay. Just add ma towards the end after ajushta. Okay. Anaryajustam asvargyam.
Anaryajushta asvargyam.
Akirtikaram Arjuna.
Akirtikaram Arjuna.
Very good. Akirtikaram Arjuna.
Akirtikaram Arjuna.
Let's do the full lines. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Kutastva kashmalamidam. Vishame samupasthitam.
कुटस्त्वा कश्मलम् इदं विषमे समुपस्थितम्
अनार्यजुष्टम स्वर्ग्यम अकीर्तिकरम अर्जुना
अनार्यजुष्टमस्वर्गम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुना.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Thank you, Talik. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Bhagavan finally speaks. Bhagavan finally speaks. Kutastva. Tva means you. Kutaha. How? Kutahatva kashmalam idam. This stupidity, this distress, this disappointment, where did it come from? Kutastva, I didn't know you like this. You were my bro. We used to play around. I know you so well, Arjuna. Where did this all come from? See, he is not saying, ah, don't cry, don't cry. He is not pampering. See, this is very important. When somebody is crying for a wrong reason, now this is for the mothers. This shloka is for the moms. If kid starts crying for everything, putting tears in his eyes, not necessarily you have to go and say pamper and say, oh, take it, no problem, no problem. You want this? No, take it. No, you don't have to say that. All you have to say is, how come you are like this? I didn't know you like this. You were Arjuna the Great. See what Bhagavan is doing. He is not pampering. So this is for moms. See, he has given, he knows that you will use it for a wrong reason, and now he is giving some weapons and tools to moms as well. Kutastva kashmalam idam vishame samupasthitam. Look around you. Where are you now? You are not sitting at your home. You are not sitting under a tree or a temple, right? You are in the war field, my dear friend. Everyone is ready to shoot arrows into your chest. Everyone that you see, that side, left side, everyone is ready to fight with you. This is a very complex situation. This is a situation where everybody is at war. Vishame samupasthitam. In these aggressive mentalities, between these aggressive mentalities, you are sitting and crying. Where did this come from? How? How did this all happen? I didn't know you like this, Arjuna. And he goes on explaining why it's a big problem if he cries. You need to understand that sometimes when we cry, it is a bigger problem. Though you are not having any control on your emotions, you are outbursting and then you are crying, you're bringing tears into your eyes. Fine with that, understandable. But there is a bigger impact because of that. The after effect of crying is completely different. What he is saying here, Bhagavan is reminding Arjuna that Arjuna is not an ordinary person. By the way, you remember all. Arjuna is not an ordinary person. He has been through all the scriptures. He knows in and out of what dharma is, what karma is, how an action should be performed, why an action should be performed, who performs what kind of an action. He knows everything. Now Bhagavan reminds him of his own textbooks. Go to that syllabus. Now he says, whatever you are doing, Arjuna, here sitting and crying in the middle of a war, being a Kshatriya, is nothing but an Aryam. Arya means one of extreme respect. Noble. Arya means one who is noble. Noble in thoughts, noble in actions, and noble in emotions. Such noble person will always stay to the truth. He or she will always stick to what is right, regardless of what it brings them back in life. They will stick to the right thing. Oh, this is right. I must do it. I will not compromise with this. Whatever happens, let it happen. I will not compromise. If it is something to be right, if it is truth, I'll stick to it. This daringness, this courage, and this nobility exists in someone called as Aryan. So if someone's name is Aryan, that's the meaning of their name. Okay? So when you say Anaryam, Ana, when you added Ana, when you add something Ana or A towards something, it just becomes opposite of it. So he says, hello, Mr. Respectable, you the great Arjuna, known for your mighty, known for your skills all around the world in Devas, you're still an Aryan. Yeah, Reem, you wanted to speak something better?
I have two friends named Aryan. They both are named Aryan. I'm gonna go to one of their house today.
Okay. So tell him that Aryan means someone of extreme respect and high qualities. Okay?
He already knows them.
Oh,
He already
okay, no problem. This is for you then. Okay? All right. I think your friend is also there, Aryan, Gautam's friend. It's a very common name these days. And my cousin, right? My brother's son is Aryan. Okay. Right. So he says anaryan. It is anaryam. Ajushtam. This is something that should not be taken into consideration. This is something that you should not support. Ajushtam. Aswargyam. In olden days, it was told and it was also taught to young kids that when you do your activity, suppose you are a son in the house, student in the school. When you are in the house as a son or as a daughter, what you should do? Your responsibility is to help your parents. In the school, what is your responsibility? You are a student, so you should study. On the playground, your responsibility is to take care of your team and play with the team, right? So at every situation, you have a different responsibility, which is the right responsibility. And that action, when it is done perfectly, Bhagwan says, I'll give you a gift card. That gift card is called as Swarga. Is called as Swarga. Swarga comes with following things. What are those? When Bhagwan gives Swarga, he gives number one, pleasure, joy. He will give excitement. He will give positive emotions to the mind. And he will make you sail in positive thoughts. This is Swarga. Anytime in your life, if you are feeling all this, you are already in Swarga Loka. In a hot summer outside, when I'm sitting inside AC, I am in Swarga Loka. So Bhagwan gives this as a result of doing the right action. So he says, you are supposed to fight in the war, taking the side of the right side where people are doing the thing for the right cause. Stick to that right cause and fight the opponents. As a king, you are a king. You belong to royal family. Your job is to fight anything that is wrong. You are running away. When you are running away, that means you will not get the gift card. You will not get Swarga. Aswargyam. Swargyam. Opposite of Swarga. You will never get Swarga. You are thinking that if you don't kill, if you kill, there is Papa. Right? When you kill somebody, it's a sin. So you should not kill. And thereby, by not killing, you will get Swarga. No, sorry, my dear friend. That is not what textbook says. Remember what the textbook says? Textbook says, if you do your activity, what you must do in the right way, I will give you a gift card called Swarga. That was the lesson. And here you are not doing your duty. You are saying, I want to run away from my duty. So I will not give you gift card. Mind it. This is what Bhagwan is saying. Now, somebody crying for no reason, after listening to all this, will think, oh, I will not have respect. I will not be called as Aryan anymore if I run away. I'm doing something that should not be done. I will not get Swarga also if I do this way. Oh my God, let me think once again. Should I cry now or should I stop crying? This injection is called the medicine. Sometimes this injection doesn't work. This injection doesn't work. How? I'll tell you. If you're crying really loud, if mama comes back and says, stop crying. If you do this, you know what others will see? The neighbors, they will think that you're a cranky boy. They will not allow you to come to their house. They will not They will not help you come to their house and play with their kids. They will tell their kids to be away from this particular small kid who is crying all the time, cranky all the time. They will not allow you to make friends. Now, when mama says that, what will this kid think? He will think, oh my God, I should not cry now because I'll lose my friends. And he will try to stop crying. But there are kids who will not do that. They will say, regardless of what happens, I want my chocolate. I will keep crying until chocolate comes into my mouth. Or ice cream, if you love ice cream. For me, it is gulab jamun. So I will cry for gulab jamun and rasgulla. Okay. So when we cry like that, not listening and understanding, then comes the next stroke on the head. And that stroke is putting you down. Shamelessly putting you down. That is what Bhagavan is trying to do in the next shloka, which we will go through. Anshi, you would, okay, Anshita, you would like to repeat after me? Okay, unmute yourself. You have the Gita book with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Klaibyam masma gamah partha.
Klaibyam masmagama partha.
Klaibyam masma gamah partha.
Klaibyam masmagama partha.
Naitattvai upapadhyate.
Naitattvayupapadyate.
Naitattvai upapadhyate.
Naitattvayupapadyate.
Kshudram hrudaya daurbalyam.
Shudram hrudaya daurbalyam.
Kshudram hrudaya daurbalyam.
Shudram hrudaya daurbalyam.
Tyaktvottishhtha parantapa.
Yaktvottishta parantapa.
Tyaktvottishhtha parantapa.
Yaktvottishta parantapa.
Let's do the full lines. Klaibyam masmagamah partha naitattvai upapadhyate.
Klaibyam masmagama partha naitattvayupapadyate.
Kshudram hrudaya daurbalyam tyaktvottishhtha parantapa.
Shudram hrudaya daurbalyam yaktvottishta parantapa.
When someone is not listening to you, thank you, Tali, very nice, nicely chanted. When someone is not listening, in spite of telling, the after effects of you being sad, after effects of you crying like a mad boy, come out of it. That's what Mummy says first. Don't listen to it. And she uses special words. Those words which will shatter your ego. Why are you crying, by the way? Because you forgot what you must do. When do we forget? It's very, very important. When do we forget things? When do we forget things? He forgot that he is a king. He forgot that what he must do being a king. Why? Knowing what he must do is the true knowledge. When will you lose the grip on the knowledge? We talked about this in chapter 1. When you are heavily loaded with emotions, when your mind is not stable. When your mind is not stable, you will form different layers on top of that pure knowledge that existed with you. And on these layers, when they get formed, it is just like looking at the sun and saying, hey, today's sun is like feeling bad. He looks like he's having fever. Sun will not have fever. Sun will shine always the same. It's the clouds that are coming in the middle which makes you feel that the sun is weak today. No, it's your perception. It's not the reality. If Arjuna is not able to understand what he is really, it is not because of losing all those. No, they are not lost. They are still there. He is not able to see that. He is not able to understand that knowledge because there are a lot of wrappers on top, like how there are many wrappers on top of chocolates. He has a lot of wrappers. He is not able to know what is there inside. And those wrappers are because of the unstable mind. And he is not able to come out of it. Even after telling the first shloka, second shloka where Bhagavan is trying to jerk him, he is not coming out. Then what will he do? He will say, oh, stupid. This is what happens in our house also. You don't listen. Someone shouts and yells at us. Who is that someone? I know most of you will say mom. In some cases, their dads as well. Why that yelling happens? That yelling happens to question your ego. Who you are. Now respond back. To question your ego, to shatter your ego, there are certain words that are used here also. Okay, so Varsha, you're not able to, your video won't turn on. It's okay. Okay, that's fine. All right. So Bhagavan uses a word called klaivyam. What is klaivyam? Klaivyam is that person, klaibya, is that person who is neither male nor female. One who cannot stand and act like a male. In those days, male were known for, even in these days. The Purusha Lakshana, the male quality, is to stay strong. The female quality is to show love and affection and emotion. Am I a male or a female? Scientifically, I'm a male. But when God made us, He injected male qualities and female qualities in everyone. But He said, you will showcase only one which is more dominant. Am I not emotional? Am I not a person who can love someone? I can. When I do that, I am showing my feminine quality. So never say that this is boy, this is girl based on how they dress up and what they look like. Feminine quality is all about love and emotion. If we have that quality, we have that feminine quality. The male quality is to stay strong, stubborn, strong, hard, and always protective. This is male quality. And sometimes moms are like that. So they have that male quality in them. They are strong enough to stay, courageous enough to stay for you, to fight for you, fight for a good cause. So Bhagavan has created all these things injected into us. The only thing is we project. Mayukatali, you're not on mute. So we showcase only one quality which is dominant, and so we behave like male or female. Here Arjuna is neither behaving like a male nor behaving like a female. Bhagavan says, what are you? Stupid. Klaibya. You are supposed to be a great man in this world, fighting with great skills, having the highest of weapons. These days, nuclear missile. You have all that with you. And you are sitting and crying. You're not even showing empathy. You're not even like either this side or that side. You are like somewhere in the middle. I don't understand where you are. Hey, Klaibya. He says, Klaibyam. This is Klaibyam. Behaving like this is behaving like a person who is neither male nor female, who is useless. He cannot use his male qualities highly, cannot use the female qualities also highly. They are confused souls. You're behaving like that. Stop doing this. So he says, Klaibyam, masma. Never we should do it. Masma gamah partha nai tat na etat upapadyate. Upapadyate means paired with or be in that situation. So he says, never be in that situation what you are into right now. This is called Klaibya sthiti. Don't get into that state. Take a stance. You are born fighter, take a stance. He says, Kshudram Hrudaya Daurbalyam. Now he talks about heart. He says, the problems always start at the heart. It doesn't start at the brain. It starts with the heart. Any problem in your life, you name it, it always starts at heart. If the heart was strong enough, courageous enough to just shield yourself out of this problem, then those emotions would not have come. If you know how to control your emotions. So he says, it is the heart in which the emotions arise. That being weak is Kshudraha. Daurbalyam means weak heart. Having a weak heart is Kshudraha. Kshudraha means something which is very nasty and low. A very low quality life. Kshudram. Something that you should always avoid at any cost. So he is saying whether it is a man or a woman, having a weak heart is not good. It's Kshudram. Kshudram Hrudaya Daurbalyam. Hence, Tyaktva, leave it, please, drop it now. First of all, he's called a name that I think Arjuna will not be able to digest. If I was the greatest of the warriors in this world, now, let's say I was Elon Musk and somebody calls me stupid on my face, I don't think I'll be able to take it. Will you be able to? Any one of you? Let's say you are the best in the class, and if some teacher comes to you and says, "Hey, dumb boy or a dumb girl," hello, I'm class first topper here. She's trying to question your ego now. It's all because of ego that the problem started. Arjuna said, I am the prince, I am the grandson of that Dadiwala, I am the student, great student of that guru who is standing there. I cannot kill them. So when he said I and tried to relate himself with all those different people, he was talking about himself. Now, knowing too much about himself is also a problem. That is the problem of ego. Now Krishna is using the same ego as a weapon back onto Krishna. He says, "Oh stupid, oh Clybear. This is what you are getting into. You are behaving like a Clybear. Tyaktva uttishta parantapa." What are you? You are Parantapa, who is the warrior, the greatest warrior who can win on any enemy. If an enemy is standing in front of you, that enemy has to lose and you will win. That is your quality. Arjuna, you are the greatest warrior. Parantapa. Parantapa means the greatest of warriors. That's what you are. You are not Clybear. You are Parantapa. Hence, Tyaktva Uttishta. Leave it. Drop everything, all the sadness, all the sorrow, all the tears, and get up. Get up and fight. Tyaktotishta Parantapa. Kshudram Hrudaya Daurbalyam. Never have a weak heart like what you are showcasing right now. You will neither be behaving like a man nor like a woman. You are losing both the qualities, feminine as well as male qualities, by doing so. So get up, leave all this nonsense, get up, and then start fighting. See, he started using the hard words. Why is he using hard words? So that he can jerk the ego of Arjuna and make him understand what he is in terms of the world around him. The world, how the world looks at Arjuna. He wanted to tell that to Arjuna. And then shatter his ego. You know, when somebody does that to you, you cannot do this, you cannot, I know man, you cannot do this. Then you will suddenly get extra energy. I say, Gautam, you cannot lift that 40 pounds, I'm sure, it's not for you. He said, no, wait, I'll show you. And you'll do it. Why? Because I'm trying to question your ego, you're trying to do that. That strategy is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is applying here. Okay? So we will continue. How this happens, will Arjuna say, oh, thank you, okay, now I understand. No, is that so easy? Does it happen in the house that, when somebody tells you what to do, why not you should be like that. You just immediately say, yeah, I know. Let me correct myself. Does that happen? No. You will debate. So the debate continues. We will see how the debate continues between Krishna and Arjuna. And finally, Arjuna says, okay, I give up. I surrender. We'll see that in the next session, next Sunday. Right? So let's do our closing prayers for today. Om Sarvesham Swasthir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavi. असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम अतः सर्वं श्री कृष्णार्पणम् अस्तु यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तुते श्रीनारायण नमोऽस्तुते ओम तत्सत् All right, see you all next week again. If you have any questions, keep a note of that. Anything that we are talking in terms of a special meaning or something, just keep a note of that continuously. Okay? And it will help you summarize later on.
Bye.
Have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye. Take care.
Bye, uncle. Bye, uncle. Jai Shri
Jai
Krishna.
Shri Krishna.
Bye, uncle.
Bye, Kriti Tali. Jai Shri Krishna.
Bye, uncle.
Bye, Tali. So we will start saying Jai Shri Krishna from now on.
Yes.
Bye.
Say Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Sangha.
So cute today.
Okay.
You make my day every Sunday. You make us feel so happy looking at you. Oh my God. All
Jai
right.
Shri.
Bless you.
He got cold.
Jai Shri Krishna. Bye, Ma.
Jai Shri Krishna. Bye.
Bye. Bye, uncle. Bye, uncle.
Bye.
Bye, uncle.
Bye. Jai Shri Krishna. Tali.